Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh.
Dire team ban. Radiant team pick.
Abyssal Underlord!
Dire team pick. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Keeper of the light.
Radiant team pick.
Disruptor!
Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time. Radiant team ban.
Alright, so I think I can kind of see that ad getting messed up, so those of you that were telling me about that, thank you. I'll just listen to it until I figure out if it's actually broken or not, but if it is, I guess we'll just have to find a different way of playing it. But this is Team Red versus Team Freedom in the KOD League Season number 4 playoffs. And we'll just get right into the draft because no one really cares about anything else. So Team Red, they're going to go with the Darkseer to start. This is a hero that has done pretty well for a lot of teams in the event so far. Also getting the Kato in there as well. That's something that we generally don't see from most teams. After the mana leak was nerfed, it hasn't really seen as much play anymore. Meanwhile, Team Freedom picking the Pit Lord and Disruptor. So Pit Lord's definitely known for getting quite a bit of farm and is really difficult to get out of lane. We might just see the Darkseer versus Underworld matchup because teams are likely to play tri-lanes, and it's kind of annoying to play against an Underworld sometimes. So the Disruptor will also get picked up for Team Freedom. And this is a hero that I personally like quite a bit. And should be quite good against a lot of different heroes. Glim should be fairly good early against Darkseer, also against a few other heroes, just blocking that escape and also setting up a good kinetic field for the Disruptor as well. Team Red going with a very interesting lineup, and this is something that we can come to expect from Jenkins, the guy who definitely loves to run a lot of Pudge. Yeah, that is messed up ad. Alright, so I'll fix it for the next time that we play it, or just not play at all. That would be a lot of fun.
Weaver.
Dire team pick.
So Team Red, they pick up the Kunkka here. And I guess it'll work well for them. They're picking a lot of heroes that have been nerfed and pretty much letting Team Freedom get whatever they want. Because, I mean, the bans are okay, but if you're not picking up heroes that are really picked up a lot in the current meta, you're leaving pretty much carte blanche for Team Freedom to go with whatever they want. So they'll get a Weaver here for BSJ. And when you pick up the Disruptor, generally teams will not pick up a Weaver against that, so that pretty much makes it really free for Freedom to pick up a Weaver here. So yeah, here we go into our draft. We're getting pretty far into it. Team Red getting very low on reserve time. It's almost like they had some kind of penalty. I can assure you that they didn't, because I didn't give a penalty to anybody in this game, as they all kind of showed up on time. Maybe Jenkins took a while to get ready for the match, but that was about it. And okay, so instead of having a BSJ Weaver, it's going to be BSJ on the Draw Ranger and then a support Weaver for Team Freedom, which having the Draw Ranger also allows them to do. So they'll be getting a lot of pressure onto the towers, and their tri-lane should be very strong, especially with the damage that the Weaver can put out. Should be able to put a lot of damage on the Team Red here. They're going to ban out the Tomato Silencer, since that could also be rather good in this Drow strat. And that'll leave the ban up to Team Freedom.
10 seconds remaining.
Might want to get a little bit more tanky with their last pickup here.
5 seconds remaining.
And they'll ban out the Lishrak. Something that they love to run quite a bit. Would be able to push in some towers, so they have the Coddle there for a lot of damage. I think that Team Red might already have their 2 supports, so with, I don't know, maybe they run Sven support. I saw that a little bit. That was in the WESG finals between C9 and TNC. I don't think it won that game. Maybe it did.
Remaining.
In fact, I think it did win that game. That was game 2 or something.
Reserve time.
Could be putting out a huge amount of damage. And also, the Sven Darkseer combo is something that's very known and can find quite a bit of success if it can get started. And that's really the big caveat there for Team Red. If Team Freedom can push the lanes in very quickly, then the vacuum Sven combo would not be able to be as effective. Especially when the Disruptor can get into the mix and mess things up as well. Last pickup here for Team Freedom. You got a lot of options. It should be their mid laner for, I guess it's Tomato. It says Nora on the screen. Apparently Tomato is Nora. I don't know. It's kind of annoying when people use names other than their actual in-games or what they would want to be called. I guess because they want to hide their stats or something from teams, or want them to think that's a stand-in. I don't know. But well, I guess we'll call him whatever his hero is, because if they don't want to use their right name, then I'm not going to call them by the name either. So Team Freedom have a lot of time to think about this one. Their draft seems pretty independent. The Weaver should be able to work around the map pretty well with the Drought Aura, constantly helping out with the damage. Disruptor should be deceptively strong with that Aura as well. And Team Freedom pick up the Centaur here. That's a bit interesting. Is it actually going to be a Tomato Centaur? And I guess they could put him on the Jaw Ranger in the mid lane and then have the Weaver still do pretty good damage anywhere. That seems a little bit strange though.
5 seconds remaining.
Oh, I guess we'll just have to see how Team Freedom decide to play this. Maybe they put Tomato on the Jaw Ranger.
5 seconds remaining.
Could be a thing. But we're probably going to have to wait until we get into the match to start out, as the last pickup will be a Puck for Team Red. Again, trying to work around the big AoE combos that they have. If they can hit a good vacuum, they just have the Wombo combo that should be able to take down Team Freedom. But that's really the big problem. They need to be able to hit it. They have to get their items and levels up early, because Team Freedom should be hitting pretty hard. So that'll get us through the draft as we look to get into game number 1 of our best of 3 set. Based on the prior results of the teams, I really wouldn't expect Team Red to be able to do too much against Freedom here. I think that Freedom are generally the much stronger team, but you know, we could get surprised. I wouldn't really put it past Team Freedom at all, who sometimes just kind of give up games when they really shouldn't. So we're going to have a pause to get into the match. Lots of well wishes being given out between teams. I don't even know what that means. All right. Lord. Okay, so a little bit of fun there between the teams as we get into the match, but hopefully we are on pause, because I don't know if you're me, probably not me. But I'm quite sick of the pauses from the last match. I don't know why the KOD was just flickering there. If we look at these lineups a little bit more, very clearly Red, they need to get past their early game. I think their big stopping point is going to be Monster on the Darkseer. I mean, he's got to get his levels up. He needs to have a good start in the lane, which might be very difficult against if he's against the Disruptor. Now, if they go with him against the Abyssal Underworld, things might be a little bit different for him. But a lot of this match depends on him getting levels and being able to pick up the vacuum early, because if Team Red don't have their combo, then they're basically nothing. Also, if the Darkseer doesn't hit the good vacuum combos, then Red are a little bit of something at least. But they would definitely not have the big combo that they've been looking for with this draft. And they're also slightly... well, they're not that cooldown dependent, but there are a couple of short breaks in between fights that it will be difficult for Team Red to do anything. And also, the charge could make it so that the combo doesn't necessarily hit as well. Eagle moving up, he's got the Shikuchi, could be doing some good damage to Ryu. He's being forced away from the rune spot, and he's gonna start to hit the bug. Here comes the... yeah, they're not gonna have enough vision for that. And Eagle's just forcing out Team Red to put out all of their spells for this one. That's so strange. Also, Jenkins, he's gone for the Illuminate first. Illuminate comes through BSJ, picks it up with Freedom getting the good start there. So it will be Tomato on It's just Draw Ranger at mid, and Ike's Mike will be bottom with the Centaur. Alright. So Eagle's already in a very aggressive position. This tri-lane, historically Freedom have been pretty good in their tri-lanes when they're actually trying. But get it, trying in a tri-lane. The jokes. But oh no, Eagle's gonna find Jenkins. They'll at least get the sentry ward down, and Ryu, oh, the Illuminate will come out. Eagle starts to go to work onto the Kunkka, and the Kunkka will take a lot of damage with that Drow Aura still going in there. Being in the mid lane, Drow should be able to get quite a bit of work done here, but Bloody Nine, he's a pretty good puck and is already harassing Tomato quite a bit. Eagle, he's already putting some damage on the Ryu, but there's a lot of vision here from Jenkins, and he'll put out the Illuminate. This hits onto literally nothing. Oh, it hits onto Juby. Wow, long range Illuminate to kill off the Disruptor a little bit there. He's definitely going to touch him hard. Give him the bad touch. Show him on that doll where the Coddle touched you. Eagle about to go around the backside. If you look at the vision here for Freedom, they don't see a whole lot behind the tower. Eagle's just trying to work back there, trying to give Jenkins the fear of God. And Eagle, he's already working through the trees, so he does get hit by the tower shot, which should tell him that there is a sentry ward in the vicinity. So we're going to spend most of our time here at the tri-lane v tri-lane, since that's where most of the action should be going on. Maybe Puck is able to get a kill on Nor in the mid lane. Starting to get low on the regen. He's going to try to get the Wraith Bands. Jenkins picks up the Bounty Rune with Eagle trying to get away. His Shikuchi is down, still at level 1. Ike's Mike with an interesting position against Monster. Just going for a man fight right now. And BSJ will just move up a little bit. He's getting some good levels here. With the rotations of the supports, he's able to get some alright XP and alright farm as well, just being as tanky as a Centaur is. There isn't a whole lot from Red that's going to be able to get him out of the lane. Look at all those blast hits that he's getting. BSJ the absolute god with those. Jenkins getting a couple of blast hits there with the Kato as well. He throws out the torrent. Doesn't do a whole lot. Key green rune there for IX Mike, so he'll get a lot of more sustainability in the lane with that without having to use the shrine at all. Look at the damage there. Eagle in some trouble. That might be the first blood. They'll just slap him down. Double edge comes out from BSJ. They'll get the turnaround onto the Sven. Immediately the damage just ramps up in this lane. BSJ trying to stay alive. He does have the healing salve. Illuminate will come through. BSJ taken within an inch of his life. He'll try to heal up, and the Kata will be able to cancel the healing salve on himself, but even then, that's a lot of damage onto Team Freedom. Just very quickly ramping up in the off lane there. Monster will get back over towards the lane. IX Mike making his way away from here. And she'll slowly chasing him down. Tomato, he'll be putting out a little bit of harassment Bloody Nine, but the harass is a little bit better from Puck. At top, again, possibly a little bit of damage going on there as Eagle will get the creep wave back over towards the lane. So Eagle, he's not really put out the most damage, but he does have a Blightstone for him now. A little bit of a deep dive onto Draw Ranger in the mid lane. Ryu just going in there at level 2, making her just set her position a little bit further back. Eagle is really getting styled on by the Sentry Ward, and they're going to get another stun there. He's got his next Rikuchi in 3 seconds, but Sven will be able to chase him down. Annihilate finding another kill there, and GB might be forced out of this one as well. Creeps are just hitting down the hard camp there. BSJ off the mark with the stomp, and that might mean that Team Red can go in. He's not going to be worrying about the KOD. One more slap from Annihilate, and they're going to be able to secure the kill on Disruptor. This top lane is not going well at all for Team Freedom. Eagle wants to get in, but Jenkins is already very low. He knows that he has the kill, and they're just looking for Annihilate right now as BSJ is trying to get into the mix. Eagle's going to go up with the Shikuchi. Double Edge is there. They're going to be able to find that kill. Now Ryu might think about going on the Eagle, but there's a lot of damage here, and BSJ has full mana. They might... Oh no. Stomp will not work around the trees like that. They'll throw out another Illuminate as the KOD gets into the lane. Ooh, maybe they're going to get a Torrent. So, in any case, Juby, he's helping out the Jaw Ranger a little bit on the mid lane. And Bloody 9, he's just had a very good time here. Jaw Ranger hasn't quite gotten to level 6, and he's gotten outlaned heavily in mid. It looks like Team Freedom, they've just sacked him so hard here. When that tri lane doesn't do well, Tomato's not going to get a whole lot of help at all. And Jaw Ranger's not really one of those independent mid laners either. Like, she... Against one of those normal mids like Puck, especially a good player like Bloody 9, it's not really going to work too well for Jaw Ranger. And the Dream Coil is also available here. Dream Coil out onto Juby. Illuminate is going to be available. Glimpse goes out. Maybe Jenkins is able to find it. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Huge damage by Weaver. Just helped out so much by the Drow Aura. Maybe Weaver also goes for Bloody 9 here, but he doesn't have a whole lot to be able to do so. And the Swarm is also down, so they'll be able to find the KOD kill and nothing else. Centaur, he'll get stunned. No chance for a stomp. He'll get it off, but It walks right back in. Nice juke of the stomp by him to be able to find another kill at top. He's 420. 420 blaze it at top. Meanwhile, Weaver's gotten up to the Aquila. I think that IX Mike, though, is the one that Team Red are really going to have to worry about for the early game. The way that you go with the Underworld, you're going to be getting the Mechanism, the Arcane Boots, which Mike already has. You're going to get really survivable in the early game, which helps the Team Freedom push. You don't necessarily have to win this early game so hard. They just have to make sure that they get some good timings on Jaw Ranger's items, some good levels on her, so that they can be able to get some good pushes off to start it out. And once they get those pushes, they'll be able to get a good net worth lead as well. Eagle's doing a ton of damage to Ryu. The Centaur ultimate is going to get used. The Glimpse goes back onto Ryu, back into a lot of trouble. Weaver getting hit by the Illuminate, and he's right underneath the detection as well. Ryu does die to Juby. But, yeah. It's just a Weaver dying. He's going to put out a lot of damage, but he is kind of squishy. Jaw Ranger still working on some gold. Does have enough for the power treads right now. And then it would be Dragonlance probably after that. IX Mike moving up for Monster. He'll get his Arcane Boots up in a couple of seconds. Eagle just hasn't been able to do so much. Red have put a lot of money into detection early, and Weaver just continually gets caught out in bad places. Rotation on the mid lane. BSJ is the one here. A little bit more difficult to take it down than, say, a Jaw Ranger, but it looks like Red are ready to try. They'll throw out the X, looking for the Torrent. They'll get it there. Illuminate is on the mark as well. Bloody 9 won't go in for it, though. BSJ is... a little bit too tanky. They'll go for Juby. Lots of damage is there, and the silence with the Waning Rift will come off. Illuminate also coming through. Sven is here. Can he throw out the... Oh, he's going to get enough time, but a nice gust from Tomato is going to keep BSJ alive for now. And Annihilate, he's looking for someone else to throw the Stormhammer on. Puck will not go forward with that one. Tomato takes the Illuminate to the face, and Ryu could throw out another X. He will get it out into Tomato. This is where Freedom would have to react. Tomato nearly just giving up there. It's just not fun for him at all as Annihilate finds another one with the God of Strength. Now, Bloody 9 in a little bit of trouble. He'll use the... Oh no, he's been stomped. That's a double edge. So Puck about as squishy as a Weaver. Annihilate brought right back in. He'll try to TP away, and he will be able to make it out. But Jenkins has been found out as well. Eagle takes the full brunt of the... Illuminate to the face, and, well, nice time lapse out by Eagle. He gets away from some big damage. Jenkins takes one slap from IX Mike. Eagle looking for some more. He'll be able to take down Makunka. So Team Freedom turning that one around pretty well, and they come out about 700 gold ahead of that fight. Nice involvement from Mike getting into the fight. That was a very deep dive from Team Freedom, and BSJ, he's putting a little bit of damage out onto Monster. Now Monster will get some mana, and BSJ has to try to stay alive. Illumina comes through, barely tickling the center at this point with the Hood of Defiance being popped for him. Too many helms in this game. It's ridiculous. Ryu finding Tomato with the Torrent, but they might walk back in with the Pit of Malice, and I know it's going to be forced out of this one. Dream Coil comes from the backside. The Dark Rift has been used, and Tomato's going to get away with Mike. Oh, but actually they're going to cancel the Dark Rift. Alright, Tomato's going to be kept here. God Strength in by Sven. The Torrent is going to be on the mark. Can they take the Sven down? Oh, the Blinding Light is going to do a lot of work against the Weaver, making it so difficult to take down the Sven. Eventually they do. Pit of Malice also doing a ton of work here. Eagle going around all over the place. He's got the detection is not on him. 49 getting very low. The Iron Shell right next to Eagle puts out another Urn of Shadows on 49. 49 trying to pop next to the shrine, and he will be able to stay alive for now. But Eagle wants a little bit more, and he goes up to the high ground. That is not where the Eagle wants to be. That was too aggressive from him. I don't know why I'm still looking at CS, but we'll see that Mike is at the top of that. And he also has some mechanism bought up right now. I wonder if they actually canceled that Dark Rift. I'm just not as familiar with that spell as I should be to know what was going on there, but I think that Team Freedom wanted to fight there. It just wasn't the best fight for them to try to take. So, Team Red, they did get quite a few kills at the beginning of the game, and the push hasn't really been started up yet from Team Freedom. That should be online with the mechanism from Mike. He'll get stunned by the Centaur, and the Stormhammer also comes through. Eagle going to the backline. Stormhammer gets popped. Mike, he could get rid of right boat, but he's a little bit too tanky and too fast for it. BSJ into the fight. Ryu's taking a lot of damage from Weaver. Weaver will Shikuchi around. Kado's here as well. Glimpse back in the middle of the kinetic field, and there are a lot of heroes surrounding Sven. He will get cut off in the middle of the sack storm, and they want a little bit more. They'll charge forward. Ryu's very low, but I don't know if they're going to be... Oh, they're going to get the Pit of Malice out onto the Kado. Blocked in by BSJ as well. Double Edge finishes him off. It's a huge burst damage and nice catch from Freedom. And managing to find them the kill. Tomato is... he's going to be farming up the Ancients for now. I'm a little bit worried about him getting caught out, especially with 29 being in the area. But he is right next to the shrine, which Team Freedom could react to if necessary. 29 seems to be aware of the Draw Ranger farming, and well, now Nora's being caught out. Veil of Discord onto him. Very difficult for him to fight here. He'll try to do some damage for the Puck, trying to get it out, but Puck has more than enough auto attacks to find the kill there. Mike is still at the top of the net worth, building up towards the Yule Scepter right now. In the mid lane, Ryu's been found by Eagle. The X has gone out. He'll pull Eagle back. There's a glimpse back in the middle of the river. The boat goes out, but it does literally nothing. Ryu has... he doesn't even have rum on him. He doesn't even get his rum. It's not good. So Eagle doing a little bit of work on the mid lane. Nice synergy with the glimpse there to kill the Ryu Kunkka. Meanwhile, Mike is still doing his farming thing, staying at the top of the net worth, keeping that nice spot for Team Freedom, making sure that he's as tanky as possible. Very difficult to bring down. We will have that Dragonlance soon for Draw Ranger. And looking at our vision here, I mean, that Dire Observer Ward doing a lot of work for Team Red. Puck thinking about getting in there as well. He's got enough money now for his Blink Dagger. 29, one of the better Puck players. I would say that if he has a chance to play that hero, he's going to be playing it nearly every single time. Now we got a smoke here from Team Red. Jenkins leading the way. 29 can get up there. They do not want Tomato to be taken out again, and he's going to go back to his farming path. Dream Coil is there. Jenkins is going to be on the mark with the Illuminate, and this Disruptor might deny a tower, but the Draw Ranger kill will not be denied here from Team Red. And again, they have to think that there's a ward there, because that's the second time that Draw Ranger's been caught out in basically that same position, trying to go for the next camp as they go through. Eagle right underneath a sentry ward. He's been silenced. He'll be put in the middle of the torrent, and he doesn't get a chance to throw out the time lapse. Pit of Mouse doing a lot of work here. Ryu's going to be caught by the kinetic field. Here comes BSJ around the backside. He'll use the charge. Ionel's been brought into it. He's going to stop the Centaur in his tracks. Get away from the Static Storm for now. BSJ gets a nice stuff on the 2 though. Monster just runs right towards him. Tomato's in the fight as well. He'll run through the wall. BSJ nearly out of mana. Does have enough for another stomp as soon as he gets off of cooldown. Bloody Nine in the middle of the lane. He goes for the Disruptor. He needs to get his spell off. He'll get away from the stomp before it comes out. Didn't quite have the mana to get the kill there. So Team Red, they're still finding a few kills, and they might actually find one on the bottom as well. Eagle going forward takes a lot of damage, and we'll use the time lapse just to get that little bit of health back. Still, neither team has really been able to push all that much, even with the Draw Ranger on one of the lineups. Eagle getting a bit aggressive on the Jenkins, trying to put that extra bit of damage in. Jenkins will go down to it. However, the Eagle Weaver will fall as well, surrounded by Team Red, but that creates enough space for his team to start to push in on the mid lane. Tier 1 tower in a lot of peril here. Annihilate can run in. He's got the war cry going. He puts the Purge creep forward as well. BSJ comes from the backside. That's a double edge, and there's no one here to react to this one. Sven staying alive for a little bit longer. Courier nearly dying as well as Freedom get the kill, and they'll Dark Rift to bottom on the back of the Abyssal Underlord. And they could get a tier 1 here as well. Team Red will have to defend this if they want to have a chance. They gotta commit a lot of people here as well, as Weaver is showing up as well. Illuminate will come through. BSJ could go to the back of the tower, barely takes any damage from it. Piper's Insight not available. There's gonna be a glimpse back, and the Pit of Mouse keeping Jenkins there. Ix Mike losing a lot of mana to this, but he doesn't really seem to care at all. Jenkins, he's absolutely wrecked by the swarm. And that will be a torrent on the 2. Puck in the middle of everything. There's the Dream Coil, but now he's been silenced in the middle of the Static Storm. The tables have been turned. Here comes the boat. It's going to ram over the Weaver, but Weaver is going to be able to put out a huge amount of damage as well. Another nice torrent from Rio. They're going to get stopped by the Stormhammer. Nice vacuum on the 4. That's going to kill off the Abyssal Underlord, and the Atrophy Aura is now gone, but that Pit of Mouth still being super effective for Freedom, as they're finding so much. Eagle gets very low. He's not got his time lapse, but he is still working towards the Aghanim Scepter and gets a couple of charges towards the Urnum Showers as well. That tier 1 tower going the way of Team Freedom. And they will get over the top, TP to the shrine, pick it up, get a lot of mana and health. And do they go for Roshan right now? They have a Draw Ranger, should be pretty easy for them. She doesn't have the Dominator picked up for her, but she does have some double damage rune, and BSJ is mighty tanky to take this as well. Alright, so the first Roshan of the game goes the way of Team Freedom. Eagle gets underneath it, and he'll pick up the Aegis. I guess they really want his damage here. Support's feeling special. And Team Red, they've got their items up and they have the combo, shown exactly how effective it can be in the last fight. But the X factor here was the Pit of Malice. Like, it just made things so difficult for Red to go into, and just the way that that fight was positioned in the trees, it made it so difficult for Team Red to ever get in there. Eagle going around the side, he is going to get scouted by Monster, and Jenkins is currently in the trees. He's going to throw out the Illuminate, and is going to get scouted by Weaver right next to him. The Weaver tries to kill him off, and Jenkins will not be able to TP away. Meanwhile, top is still getting pushed in. Ben About to get hit with a lot. The Firestorm is there, Pit of Malice. Ix Mike taking a lot of damage from it, and with Sven being silenced, Ix Mike able to dodge the boat with his Yule Scepter. God Strength gets used, Ix Mike trying to get away, but the Purge Creep is going to keep him there for a lot longer than he wants to. Second Torrent will hit, and Ix Mike will lie dead again in the dire jungle.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Very fast Aghanim Scepter for Weaver. As long as he isn't getting caught out by the initiations of Team Red, that's going to give a powerful tool to Team Freedom. Time Lapse on a 12-second cooldown can be used on anyone on your team. BSJ will step up here. He needs to get a little bit more gold. He has his Pipe of Insight bought up here. And they'll smoke and move forward. Looking inside the dire jungle, the smoke will get popped. BSJ goes for the double edge on the creep wave, and he'll try to go forward. Has a Force Staff, but that would be a little bit too far for him to go. I Annihilate farming the Ancients for now, and Bloody 9 can come in the backside with the puck. Has the Blink Dagger available. All of Freedom are grouped up here. That would be a great vacuum for Monster, but they're going to get the split off. They need to get this guy down. They'll try to control him. They need to take this Darkseer down before anything can happen, and Disruptor's going to get caught on the backside. They're going to get the Dream Coil onto Drow Ranger and the Disruptor as well. They use the time lapse. There's a 5-man vacuum. Can they get it from Sven? No, he's been silenced in the middle of the Static Storm, so they don't quite get the combo. Disruptor nearly taken down. This time there is no time lapse, as Juby will be killed off by Bloody 9, but now Bloody 9 has been silenced. They're going to try to get away. Pit of Mouse will keep him there, and they kill off the puck. Now they need to stay away from I Annihilate, as another time lapse comes out from Weaver, keeping Tomato alive. They have to get Nova out of this one. Tomato walking around. He will end up dying to Sven, who gets Yule Sceptered up by Ix Mike. They need to chase him down, and he gets another nice Stormhammer off. Torrent is going to keep BSJ up in the air, but he gets another nice stomp. Eagle just looking for I Annihilate, who gets a little bit low again, but Weaver has to get back to the rest of the team. Ix Mike going into Monster. Jenkins tries to TP away. They have the double edge, but they don't quite have the damage. Again, Monster getting caught out by the Pit of Malice, but they can't really go through the wall, which now does disappear. Perhaps Freedom have enough damage to be able to take down the tier 2 tower here, as Puck is still dead. You need to make sure that these creeps die, and then maybe they can go on the tower. Eagle should be rather good at this, and he also has another time lapse available and the Aegis, so that could equal the tier 2 tower going down. But Puck can get back into it. Monster, he's gonna see Weaver take a little bit of damage. Time lapse is off the Mana Leak. We'll get vacuumed back into a lot of pain. Bloody 9 is there, but the Pit of Mouse will get thrown out. Eagle could go into this one. He's taking a lot of damage already. Puck will go forward, and he sees Eagle here. Will get the silence off. There's a Dream Coil and the Stormhammer around the backside, but there's gonna be the Aegis being popped for Weaver, as he just lies flat, but eventually he gets revived. Glimpse back onto... No, Puck is going to phase shift out of it, but again, the Static Storm is going to be there, keeping him in there for the duration. Pipe, oh man, that Pit of Malice, but Annihilate goes in the backside. Just a whole lot of damage here between both teams. Eagle going around it. The boat will come through. It hits BSJ, but that is all. Sven slowed down, caught up in the Pit of Malice again. He cannot do this, but Weaver eventually will die. A beautiful vacuum. The Stormhammer, the combo's there from Team Freedom. Nora will try to get away and will not be able to do so. Annihilate gets the rampage, and that's just what happens when you've got Darkseer and Sven paired together. Oh my lord. So many vacuums there for Monster. The Pit of Mouse can do so much in a fight, but eventually the Weaver cannot time lapse through everything. And his squishiness eventually was the downfall of Team Freedom, as they lose 5. Team Red starts to go for the aggression onto the tier 2 tower, turning it around on Team Freedom. Team Red, very surprising performance here, doing quite well against the American, Canadian, Peruvian squad. And there's going to be a glimpse back, pulling Monster right back into it, but he's got the X out of it, thanks to Ryu. Weaver wants to do a little bit of damage here. Eagle seems to be a little bit more upset about the fact that his team is not doing too well. And Puck is going to be ready for him as well. Puck blinks over to the other side of the river, wants to push out the bottom wave, but he might run into a lot of pain here for him. Centaur could get into the fight. Puck absolutely cleans up that creep wave and blinks away from the incoming Centaur. It will return a lot of damage to the creep wave. Weaver wants to, yeah, he's going to be right next to Jenkins, who will try to TP away. The boat comes through. Jenkins will not be taken down by a solo Weaver. He'll be X'd back into a torrent, but Rio was a little bit off the mark with the boat. Now 29 is going to silence Weaver. Weaver in a lot of trouble. He could try to get the time lapse off. He cannot do so. Damage is there from Red. And Eagle's really got to start to work with the rest of his team soon. Mike, he's thinking about the Pipe of Insight, which was already built up by BSJ, so he just wants the increased magic resistance for himself, I guess. But Red are still doing quite well. If we look at the net worth, it is rather even right now, only about 1,800 on the side of Team Red, and XP is around 6,000 as well. Annihilate getting so much gold off of that last fight. He's up to a Blink Dagger and a BKB right now. And there comes a smoke from Team Red. Roshan is not up for at least another minute. And Team Red, they could push up the high ground. Jenkins is ready for it. Where they see Juby in the mid lane. That's going to be a Stormhammer. Blink forward by Annihilate, but the Pit of Mouse will get thrown out. Nice force staff over by the Disruptor. Ike's making a lot of trouble. He'll get X back into a lot of pain. Nice glimpse back. Oh, but a beautiful vacuum again by the Darks here. Annihilate wants to get into it, but the Stack Storm will be thrown out. There's the BKB by Annihilate, and he'll go right for the Disruptor. Takes him down in 2 shots. Echo Saber going to work. Weaver able to Shikuchi away from 29 as the Tomato is going to get caught out once again. He will get time lapse back into a lot more trouble as well. This is just a terrible position for him. This is saving Private Tomato, but Tomato is going to eventually die. Eagle now getting dual sceptered up in the air. BSJ, alright, the sounds comes out after the Shikuchi. Nice force staff forward, but the Mana Leak is going to do a lot of work as well. He's got to get the time lapse off on himself, and the Torrent is going to put himself up in the air. Now he's got the Shikuchi away, but the Mana Leak is still going on. He eventually will get stunned out of it. Team Red are a bit too tanky for Freedom to deal with right now, and they don't really have that main damage dealer. They can't keep the Draw Ranger alive. Team Red go in on the mid lane. They should be able to get the tier 2 tower here. Team Freedom will have to come back into this match somehow. Eagle moving forward. BSJ doesn't have a blink. He's got it queued up right now in the quick buy, but he doesn't have nearly enough gold. Now here comes the charge. They want Annihilate. They'll get the glimpse back. 29 gets the silence. The Dream Coil on the 3. The absolute win there. And the Pit of Mouse is making things really difficult for Red. Kinetic Field is there as well. Now their team really getting a big advantage. Jenkins being driven out by Eagle. They've got the Alpha Wolf there as well. Eventually the Kata will die. Annihilate nearly killed off by Juby. Juby helps to find the kill, and she will. Firestorm making things so difficult, and the zoning from Team Freedom is just absolutely ridiculous. Ryu nearly killed by the bug, and the urn. Eagle goes in for the kill. He sees it, he wants it, he gets it, and Monster kill off as well. That's going to be the full 5-man team wipe for Freedom this time around. And you can just see the circles of death from Team Freedom, throwing out static storms, kinetic fields, Pit of Malices, firestorms all over the place. And then Eagle, the support, I'm the carry now. He's putting out the damage that Team Freedom need to be able to sustain through the fights, and Eagle immediately starts his beeline towards the bottom lane. Team Red were doing so well, but then they just could not find what they needed. The vacuum wasn't there when they needed it. They couldn't get the wall, and it was downhill from there for Team Red. Freedom, oh, look at that beautiful blinding light, pushing everyone so far away from the tower. Eagle can't hit anything right now. Coddle, he's got the ultimate going. On his way towards the Aghanim Scepter. Dark Rift away, but the Abyssal Underlord is out of mana. It doesn't matter, he's gone. BSJ maybe getting Kunkka, hitting him on the butt right now. Centaur butts are kind of big. Oh, well, that was a bit strange. BSJ at least managing to avoid the... I don't know, I guess he avoided the torrent there. He avoided something. It's kind of hard to tell with the different directions that he was going, but in any case, BSJ gets out of a bad situation with his charge and the force staff. He got out. Roshan will be up in about 20 seconds. This brave range creep will be the one who is supposed to try to scout it out. can be very difficult to stand in the presence of Roshan sometimes, and I think that was about a max time of Roshan respawn. So Team Red, they will have some pretty good vision of it when it respawns, and that range creep is getting owned by Roshan, and he's gonna run right into the arms of the Centaur. BSJ ends his pain. Mike's still pushing in the mid lane, and this is going to be something that Team Red have to respond to. They are all around the top lane. They want to go into BSJ. The mana leak is going to come out, and he's just going to be forced to sit there while Team Red start up the aggression. They're not throwing out the torrent right now as BSJ. He's sitting like a good boy underneath the tower. Mid lane's pushing all the way up to a tier 3.
Is under attack.
Jenkins will get away before BSJ can do anything about it. Top tier 2 is the only one left for Freedom to take here. And Bloody Knight, he's been a little bit slacking on his farm. Sven is at the top of the net worth. He's got little crits. Little crits. But I don't know if that's going to be able to help him defend the top tier 2, which is going to be the last tier 2 to go down for Team Freedom. And in fact, Team Red will let it go down. The smoke is over to the shrine. This would be a good place for Red to try to fight. And Team Freedom are a little bit slow in trying to go for it. They're going to be near there. Mike is galloping as the Abyssal Underlord. He'll get the kinetic field around Roshan, just trying to scout it out to see if Red went over there. But he has not. No one's in there. So maybe that means that Team Freedom can go in. They're going to send in another creep. Eagle can scour it out if he goes over there. Oh, BSJ's found it. Oh, man, that poor creep. That's just not fun to see. Oh. Not cool. Now, Ryu, he will put out the torrent, scouting out the Roshan. Puck could orb in, but he's going to get that used. Kinetic field goes out. They want to get those wards de-warded as Tomato is still going on to Rosh, and he's nearly taking it, but the puck, he's going to actually find the Roshan kill with the orb, with Tomato still getting the Aegis. He wants to run into the fight right now. Static Storm doing a lot of work. The boat will come through, possibly stopping this one. Darkseer can't get too much off. Right now, Ionali goes to the back end. Nice time left keeping Chibi alive, but he's right next to the Sven as well. That's a bad place for Freedom to be. They need to get Tomato out, but he does have the Aegis. Remember, BSJ completely missing that stomp. He'll go through the wall. Doesn't really matter to him at all. Meanwhile, Sven, he seems to be on an adventure. Glimpse back into the middle of the pit. Jubi, he's going to pay for that glimpse. Ionali wants him, but he's not going to be able to find him as BSJ, he's barely taking a stretch at all. He's forced out most of Team Red away from the team fight. They want to take these illusions down because they can farm them a little bit, but it's very little gold. They can't really go in on the mid lane at all. They just want to get the wave pushed out. Looking for anywhere that they can push in right now, but Team Red are already making it very difficult for Freedom to find anything inside the base right now. Ari the Catapult is trying to push it out. Eventually the creep wave will get there, but there are better things for Team Freedom to be getting right now. So there is a shrine, there's bottom lane to push. And this shrine will belong to Team Freedom. And you can see how difficult it was for this Sven to find a target when the rest of his team wasn't engaged in his region of the fight. He needed somebody to be able to set up kills for him, and that's really what the Darkseer is supposed to come into play for. But when Freedom are able to split up the fight like they did in the last one, the Sven just looked around and said, where are my targets, guys? I just want to hit everybody, but I can only hit one at a time, and that's just not really my style. Yule Scepter, Pit of Malice out onto the puck. He's going to be able to get the time-lapse away. Boat comes through. Underlord gets stunned. Mike will get the time-lapse, giving him a little bit more mana. He's actually going to make the Dream Coil miss. Puck, he will silence the Weaver for now. Monster wants to get the vacuum onto a few. The wall is pretty good from him, but that might be a turnaround from Freedom. Okay. Tomato will get the Stormhammer and the Torrent as well. Ionali going right for the Jar Ranger, but a nice force stop away again. Static Storm will be a zoning technique, and that only, as Pit of Malice keeps keeping these heroes out of the fight. BSJ to the back line. He lost most of his mana. He's just shitting it out onto the ground as Ionali going for Mike, but he's too tanky for him, and the Sven will die. He's got buyback. Monster, he's healing up a little bit since it is daytime, and the Aghanim Scepter was picked up by KOD, but he gets a nice vacuum. That is his dying breath, though, as he will end up falling falling in the bottom lane. Ryu throwing out another torrent, not catching out BSJ. He's soaking up the tower with the return. Oh, the blinding light comes through, meaning that the puck doesn't actually silence anybody. Ice Mike is going to Yule turn himself away from the X and the boat. Boat hits BSJ only, who is still doing so much damage to the tower. The backdoor protection is on it, and BSJ starts to get a little bit low. Meanwhile, to the backside, the puck goes with the waning rift, silencing Tomato. So much damage coming in from Freedom. Another blinding light is there. Now Bloody 9 in a large hole. He's been silenced in the middle of the pit of mouse. There will be a Eagle Scepter keeping himself alive for now, but Bloody 9 caught out again out of the pit of malice, and he will die. Sven has yet to use buyback. He doesn't want to. Ryu getting so low inside the base. Eagle forcing him away. Another blinding light by Jenkins. They've got to take care of this guy because they want to take down this tower, but the blinding light cannot do everything here as Eagle loses most of his mana. He's actually going to Shikuchi most of it away, and he should be able to time-lapse himself out of it, but he just gets stunned for so long after that mana leak. And wow, he's just knocked all over the place with that Torrent Blinding Light combo. Sven back into the fight, but exactly what can he do here? BSJ going ham onto the racks, looking for the range track, the full set down at mid, and BSJ, he's going to stomp onto Darkseer's face. Ix Spike hit by the torrent. The boat on the backside, it's not going to do anything except give a lot of rum and also stun up Eagle for a couple seconds, but another Guardian Grease, pretty much just way too survivable right now, and Red do not have the damage. The heals can come out all day from Jenkins, but in the end, going to be a tier 3 tower continuing to take damage from BSJ. He's got so much mana. He will be taken away a little bit more by the mana leak. BSJ, he'll be X'd, he'll be torrented, but he's at 4,040 health. They're barely making a dent into his HP pool. Bloody 9, okay, the Static Storm a little bit off the mark. There wasn't a glimpse or anything to set that up. He'll be glimpsed right back in the middle of it. He'll be able to get the phase shift off before that actually hits, and he'll be able to get away. Ix Mike nearly killed. He'll use the Scepter to get himself alive for a little bit longer. Pipe of Insight, Guardian Greaves. Ix Mike stays alive. He was on so little health. Ionic going for Tomato, but Tomato uses a Hurricane Pike to stay alive. Ionic, he will go right for the Disruptor, but where are the targets? Finally, he kills Jupi, and now Puck will be able to blink right in the middle of the pit of mouths. Tomato, he needs some help from his team. Ix Mike getting close, but look at the base. It's an absolute shambles. They've taken, well, FreeSJ's just going ham onto the racks. Tomato is dead. There's the stomp, there's the double edge. Sven taking large damage from Eagle. Eagle's the one doing most of the damage here. Yule Scepter will put him up. Annihilate, nearly kill off. He will. Triple kill for Eagle. He wants a little bit more. Monster, he's got the Guardian Greaves to keep himself alive for now. He'll be glimpsed back in the middle of the kinetic field. Lots of damage from Eagle. He'll be able to not get the kill because BSJ steals away from him. Buyback immediately from him. Nice Stormhammer onto 3. Not even a Darkseer vacuum setup needed for that one, but it is still absolute chaos in the base. The creeps are going on to the tier 4s. Red, they're doing everything they can to stay in this one. Another Static Storm comes out. So many Venn diagrams from Team Freedom. Ionite wants the Disruptor kill on the back end. He's going right onto him, and the stomp misses thanks to a Yule Scepter from Ix Mike, but they should be able to take Ionite with that one. Just surrounded. Eagle is still alive. They can't take him down. Time-lapse flowed. He wants it, and that will finally be the GG. Red said that they've had enough. Just absolutely ridiculous sustainability from Eagle, and it was anything they could do at the end to try to find a kill against a Team Freedom that were so tanky. A Centaur, an Underlord, a time-lapse. There was just no way they were getting through that health, and the Sven could never find any targets.